And she goes, you can't just like gloss over it and that it's not valid, but it's also not serving you. And people think that by getting really mad that it's somehow going to change things. It never does. It just makes you feel worse. And then that's going to create, what I took from that is it makes you feel worse, then that creates your thought, your feeling, which in turn creates your action and your result.
Your behavior. Well, here we are, Tawnya. It's episode 4 of our mini-series. And we're going to kind of focus on truth. What's truth? Truth versus lies. I know I've also been kind of like on this, I can't get my mind off of this good versus evil time in the climate we're in right now. So a couple of things we could touch on. What else?
Well, I think what's important to note, because I've just seen it over and over with clients I work with, I mean, our business has definitely been busy recently with people needing support, encouragement, and coaching, and just a lot of thoughts flying around, a lot of loaded feelings, which are, causing a lot of behaviors. And I'm not saying they're wrong or right, but our thoughts, and as we talked about in our prior episode, your thoughts create your feelings, which in turn create the actions and the results that you get. And so a lot of people are getting these results that they're not happy with, they're not feeling good. And so I kind of wanted to also just touch on making sure that you're protecting your mind and checking your feelings and your mindset. And again, I'm not saying the way that you're feeling is wrong. It's just, is it serving towards you? Yeah.
Can we start with that quote? Because I think Tony Robbins was quoting Jim Rohn.
Yes, he was.
You were just referencing Tony Robbins quoting Jim Rohn, but if we could capture that, let's read that.
Yeah, so I have it. Tony Robbins sent out an email this week, and Scott and I are big fans of Tony Robbins. I mean, we have lots of different mentors that we definitely get fed from, but I really appreciated his email that he sent out. The quote that he's talking about is Jim Rohn taught Tony to do choosing to stand guard at the door of your mind.
Yeah. And I've heard it said protect the gate of your mind and the gate of your eyes and the gate of your ears. So what does that mean to you?
Well, I look at it as like we have all these thoughts and things coming at us, all these perceptions and things in the world, experiences. And if we're not careful about what we're letting into our mind, it affects the way that we think, feel, and the way that we act. And so, for example, we've talked a lot in the previous episodes about fear and anxiety. If you're letting if you're scrolling the news and watching the news all day, for most of us, it is going to cause a lot of anxiety. And I'm not saying, again, that you need to stick your head in the sand and not be educated, but some of the news, most of it is just, it's not going to serve you. And I'm talking to clients, I'm talking to friends who are just in a panic, which I'm not saying is wrong. I'm just saying that how is that serving you right now? And if you're not protecting your mind, it's going to create how you behave, which is gonna, have the results. And I know for me, when I was, scrolling social media and reading the news constantly once this started and last week, it left me in like a pit of fear and anxiety to where I wasn't, I was just almost paralyzed by it. And it affected our family, it affected my business. So I realized that and had to change some things and really start protecting the gate to my mind.
Yeah, and a lot of people are doing that. And so are you talking to those people that are kind of stuck in that place? So what are you saying to them? Yeah,
so I'm talking to a lot of people right now because of the business we're in and a lot of clients, and really just we're talking about I'm not talking about you just gloss over those feelings, because those are real feelings. Your fear and your anxiety and things like that. If you try to stuff it, it's just going to come out.
Yeah.
And so
process it.
Helping them process through that, setting up, different things they can do to help with, limit, whether it's limiting news or screen time. Maybe it's, focusing on what they can control. Like a lot of people are, like able to work out now because they're at home, they're stuck at home. And so it's, exercise is a great way to boost endorphins. It's something you can control. So doing a workout, turning off the TV and turn something on, or going outside in your backyard and playing with your kids, playing a board game with your family. We did that last night. And doing things that are going to help, feed your mind. And then also, leaning into a positive community. A lot of people are feeling isolated right now. I know we're calling it social distancing, but a lot of people are feeling isolated. And they're missing that sense of community. And so the age that we live in, we're very blessed because we can find that online. Yeah. But you have to choose to plug into the right community. If you're plugging into, a community that is anxiety-ridden, fear-provoking, you might want to rethink that. Right. Because that's not going to serve you.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we talked about in the very first episode, was choosing what you focus on. And if you want to find fear and anxiety to focus on, it's out there. But if you want to find peace and connection and care and compassion, you can find that as well.
Yeah, and you can also create it. Like, a lot of people are looking for it, but it's also, what are you putting out there? Are you, putting out good thoughts, good vibe? Or are you somebody that is, creating panic and fear for others as well? Because people feed off of that. They're feeding off of it online. They're feeding off of it in, the people that you're home with right now. If you're still going to work, it's all breeding because it's an energy.
Yeah. So have you, I know in the business that we do with coaching clients, at least for me, I think this is maybe universal, but it seems like you get into these themes, and because as things happen, it seems like you go through seasons of this is happening to everyone. And so you kind of get on these themes of, you keep finding yourself repeating the same messaging. So are you what is the message that you're carrying with people you're talking to? Did you already cover that, or what do you think is the theme that you're covering?
Right now, it's really just being intentional with what you're focused on and what you're doing. I have a lot of my clients, I kind of have half and half. I have a lot of business owners, a lot of people that work in corporate who are finding themselves out of jobs right now, who thought they had great job security. They had these wonderful careers, and then all of a sudden they're finding that their companies are shutting down and they don't know when they'll be opening back up. We have, business owners who have owned, they own these amazing companies, and they're having to close their doors for the first time ever. Yeah, even in just the last few days since we started this mini-series, it went from like, I wasn't hearing any of that, to now it's like everyone I'm talking to is looking at downsizing or laying off or closing doors. It's been crazy. Yeah, and then we've got other people that are now finding themselves working from home who have never worked at home with kids. But then the other half of my clientele is really it's physicians and nurses and a lot the front line. A lot of them are actually up in the Seattle area, which has been hit very hard, and so they're in the muck of it. And so I've really got like people everywhere, but the common theme is being intentional with all of them. When I've been talking to them over, the last several days, and everything is escalating, everything is changing minute by minute. We don't know what each day is bringing. Is just helping them be intentional and protect their mind. That's the only thing we can really do right now. And really focusing on that. And that is going to come out in everything you're doing, whether you're somebody that's stuck at home, whether you're someone who's found yourself with suddenly losing your livelihood, or you're one of the physicians that are taking care of patients with COVID-19. And you're faced with with that. It's choosing what you're intentional with and what you're focused on, and just protecting your mind, because we all, in order to get through this, we all need to really focus on that.
Yeah. And work together and help each other.
Yeah. Well, what about you? I know you've been, talking, to quite a few clients. If you guys don't know, we've covered this in the previous episodes, but Scott and I work predominantly with women, coaching women. Scott predominantly coaches men, has this amazing, we both have amazing communities, private VIP communities. And then together we, have coached couples in relationships. So we kind of cover all the bases.
Right.
But I know you've been, pretty nonstop talking with your, the men that you help, and a lot of business owners.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of what the theme is that I'm either creating, driving, or hearing, a little bit of both, is I kind of to that point of there's like this isolation move, right? Like you got to isolate, you got to distance, you got to quarantine. Like all of these words are about, to an extrovert sound horrible, to an introvert not so bad.
Well, let's stop on that for a second. I'm an extrovert, and yeah, it is horrible, but you're an introvert, at home with some needy extroverts right now.
Yeah, so depending on if you have family or not, but I guess the lone introvert would be in heaven right now. But either way, I mean, the idea that we're being told on one hand to isolate, to get distance from other people. It's the opposite of community. So it's been interesting, because there's also, I believe, I'm feeling a spirit of community, a spirit of togetherness, a spirit of unity. And I could just be imagining it, but it feels like it's our country is that way. And no, it's not everyone. Yeah. But I just feel that growing. And so I've been wanting to be a part of the the push for that. And so I've been talking with the guys that I talk to about, hey, I just want to be in community with you. I want to link arms, regardless of distance. In the spirit realm, we can be, we can link arms. And because I think that there is a spiritual component to all of this. There's an enemy of our souls who wants to, isolate us, wants to take away our freedoms, wants to take away our peace and joy, and I don't think we can let that stand. And so we need to be on the side of speaking against that and doing things practically against that. And we do need to get to like, what are some practical steps? Because I hear the person listening like, okay, cool, yeah, I get it, totally on board, but what do I actually do? We'll have to get to that. But just like the idea of when I'm talking to the guys I'm talking to, I'm saying, okay, what are you seeing where you're at? What are the problems that you're seeing? Okay, here's what I'm seeing as I talk to another business owner. And I'm trying to share information and be a conduit for community. And then I also like to put people in groups and facilitate groups and masterminds and whatnot. So, just gathering these guys that I work with together, whether it be a Facebook group or a Zoom webinar or whatever it is. But I've got a few of those outlets that I'm, kind of congregating people into.
That's great. Well, and what are some practical steps that people can take right now for the listener that's listening?
Well, part of it is, there's a bit of, we have been preparing for this for a while. I know with the Awakened Man community, we have been talking about being the best version of yourself as a man, because our society needs good men speaking, leading, leading with, with care and compassion and love and honor and mastery, courage, and, speaking against fear and all of that. So practical things to do that, you got to raise your confidence level. You got to raise your mastery level. We do morning routines. We are big on morning routines. We're like, get up, get an early start on the day. You preach this stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I was just doing that the other day.
Right? So take care of yourself. Make sure you have enough energy and vitality. Get your body moving, take care of nutrition. So, a lot of the guys that come into my community, the first thing that happens is we're working on assessing their health, their fitness, their energy levels, and what are the things that are draining you. Let's start to move away from those. And what are the things that energize you? Let's start to move towards those. So it's an idea of like pouring into yourself. And that's been another theme lately. It's that whole commandment of love your neighbor as yourself. You can't love your neighbor if you haven't loved yourself. This is a time where leaders are called to love their neighbor, but if you have nothing to pour from, if you haven't taken care of yourself, you cannot pour into others. So there's that aspect of, we've already been preparing for this. We've been of the mindset like we need to step up and take care of ourselves, take care of our bodies, take care of our minds, take care of our spirits, do that whole morning routine, get a jump on the day, be goal directed, have the focus of, what are the most important objectives of my business, of my family, of my life, and move those things forward. And we do that in community. We compare notes, we encourage each other, we lift each other up. Some men are farther along than others, so the ones that are farther along are mentoring the others. And so it's always like, who can you help and who can help you? And we do that as, as I say in the podcast, we are a tribe of awakened men, and that's what it is, to be a tribe. So what if you haven't been already preemptively taking care of yourself? Well, when's, like Tony Robbins says, when's the best... But how does he say that? When is the best time now to get started, or something like that? How does he ask that question?
I don't know, but my theory is now is the best time, right, where you're at, because everyone has to start from somewhere, and circumstances. If you're waiting for perfect circumstances, you will be waiting forever. It's never going to happen because things aren't perfect, and change happens. Can happen at any point in your life, but you have to make the decision to take the first step. And that's what I love so much about the group that you run and the mastermind. I know the guys at the mastermind level a lot of them are really thriving right now, even with all that they're being hit with, because, you and your group that, and the skills that you've taught them have been crucial to their success. And I'm just seeing that, how they're stepping up, and, even the ones that are faced with some really tough decisions right now, but they're doing a great job. Not easy. And it's important that, the work that you do and that I do, because we work with influencers, we work with game changers. And when you're talking about we have been preparing, is, Scott and I have been in the coaching realm for quite a few years, and we've designed our curriculum to help our clients in these, we didn't realize there would be a global pandemic coming, right, but the skills that they've learned definitely help. So if you're somebody that's interested, definitely if you're listening to this on Scott's podcast, Husband on Fire, definitely reach out to him. If you're a man, if you're a woman, and you're listening to this on Triumphant with Tawnya Landis, reach out to me. We have like ramped up, and people are needing this right now.
Yeah, well, the best place for people to go right now, if you're listening to one of those podcasts, then go to landis360.com. It's landis360.com. Landis360.com is where you can go to get plugged into our Awaken Life Academy. So we do charge a small fee for that. It's $10.
Yeah, $10 a month. It is like,
you can't go to Starbucks right now, so you might as well spend your $10 on something that's going to help your personal growth.
Yeah, and it is, we're just packing the content in there right now for you guys. So definitely get in there, lean in, get yourself plugged in to that community and use the resources. If you're already a member, I want to encourage you, make sure you're going through all the resources that we're plugging in there, because we are, we got you. I know I'm hearing from our clients, and they love our material and it's helping them, and we want you to take advantage of that, especially if you're already a member. But if you haven't signed up yet, definitely go in. Like Scott said, we've got the membership price right now at $10 a month to allow access for everyone, but you gotta plug in.
Yeah, well, don't take our word for it. Just, the 7-day fitness challenge.
Yep, I got a 7-day fitness challenge
there. A free challenge, and it's a great way to plug in. So if you haven't been working out, that's a great way to get going. And then there's the nutrition, the detox, get off of sugar. If you need some energy, if you're saying morning routine, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can get up any earlier, or my kids are so draining, I'm like going to sleep at the latest hour, there's no way I can get up before them. We get up at dark.
Yeah, it's not light out.
we now that's daylight savings time, I'm actually watching the sun come up, and I actually have time for that. I'm taking my time in my morning routine, and I'm enjoying watching the day
That's
come.
Pretty.
And but anyways, if you haven't done that yet, the one very practical way to do it is get on Tanya's 7-day fitness challenge, because it's going to give you a practical step-by-step. Each day is taken care of. Just get on there, push play. It'll give you an email notification that day 1 is ready, and then you click that button, and then you watch the video from Tanya that she's going to give you a little wisdom, a little pep talk, get you going, and then she shows you the workout. They're simple workouts. You can make them challenging. They're for all levels, but even brand new can get going. And what's that going to do? Well, at first you're going to be tired.
Yeah, at first you're probably going to be like, oh. But then as the clients are finding out, and especially as we're on day 4 of this challenge already, people are like, I can't believe how much energy I already have.
Right. So it's all temporary tired, but you have to push through that. Get through that temporary pain for the long-term goal, because the truth is, if you haven't done it yet, the best time is now to get started. And this is for the purpose of being able to help your neighbor, to be able to help others. That's where true fulfillment comes from.
Yeah,
to
servants.
Be able to help in this situation, to not be, a chicken with your head cut off, but to be focused. It starts with taking care of your energy, your mindset, your vitality, your ability to get up in the morning and hit the ground running. I have some kind of autoimmune thing going. It is painful physically for me to get up. There's no reason not to. I could easily be the first person lying to say, I just want to lay here all day because I'm in so much pain. Mm-hmm. I get up and get my body moving so that I have the energy. Just the idea of mind over matter to say, no, I don't care how much you hurt, body. You're not in control of me. I mentally force my body to be my slave and get going. And it's a slow process, Tawnya.
Yeah, I've seen him get out of bed. It takes a while.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know. I try to make it look not too bad, but yeah, I mean, I can bear I have a limited flexibility. I can get on the treadmill. I can barely lift a weight right now, but I can do what I can do, and I do yoga. I get the body moving. Tawnya can probably bench press me. I could bench press a yoga block, but we both do what we can do, and the result is I have energy for days. I can go. I mean, I crash at night because I push myself all day long, but without getting up in the morning, without getting a jump on my day with exercise and good nutrition, that thank God you've taught me that.
Yes.
That I wouldn't be able to accomplish much. I wouldn't be able to contribute to others. But that was my point. That being able to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others, that's where the greatest fulfillment comes from. That's the people that we work with. That's what the Awaken Life Academy is about. Plug into a group, plug into our academy, and you're going to get constant, never-ending improvement. You're going to get constant motivation, constant reminders of how to make impact on this world, how to be your best self, how to show up the best for your spouse. We got relationship help on there, how to be the best mom or dad, how to be the best leader in business. We've got, business help, we've got economic help, financial help, fitness help. Everything is on there. And all you got to do is plug in and, skip one trip to Starbucks to cover it.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note that it's really also a positive place and it's a community. Yeah. And as we've been talking about, that theme of community now is, it's essential always to be in community, but now more than ever. And this is an online platform where you do feel that connection, where you do feel plugged in. I know, a lot of the members I've never met in person, and we have this camaraderie already. We have community. We care about each other. We're plugged in with one another, because that is the power of even, being in this community. So if that's something that, speaks to you, which I hope that it speaks to everyone that is an influencer, or if you're not yet an influencer, that you want to make a difference, you want to make an impact in the world, then definitely go plug in, because this is your place to get connected, to learn, to just gather. And like Scott said, it's time to that we all come together and have that unity. And we're seeing a lot of negativity, but we're also seeing a lot of good. It just doesn't get as much attention on the media, but if you look for it, it's there. But if you plug into it, that's all you're going to see.
Yeah, I love that, that old adage that you are the sum or the average of the people that you surround yourself with, whether it be 5 or 10. Just take the average of those most common people that you are plugging into. And if you're finding that you're assessing that and you're thinking, there's a lot of negativity here, it's time to upgrade. And we're giving you a clear, easy path to that upgrade community. What's another practical thing? I've got one, but I want to give at least 1 or 2 more practical things before we wrap up this episode. And I think we should go to the next episode and really tackle that tool of truth versus lies.
Oh, yes, that's a good one.
But I want to give another practical thing. One thing that we've done, if you are, a listener to us, you probably have kids, but we have all different demographics, but the majority of our audience, our community, has kids and
kids at home,
like we do. And so you probably are having kids around the house a lot more lately. And again, this is a part of to be able to be a good part of a community, to be able to be a good part of this country, you got to take care of home first, right? So we came up with a practical tool, and we have not mastered this yet, but we had a great idea yesterday, and we implemented a schedule, and we did a family meeting, and our kids for at least the next month are going to, beyond the next month.
They're at least for 6 weeks, they're going to be home.
Yeah, are going to be not at school, but at home. And so, our schedule, we came up with a schedule, and we did a family meeting to, we basically told the kids, well, this is business, right? There's kind of like a family farm. A family farm is a family and a business, and all the family members have a role. And we haven't been like that. I mean, we are suburb people. Our kids
We're city folks. We live in the suburbs. We live close to civilization and grocery stores, and our kids have been very
coddled.
Yes, very coddled.
So we asked them to step up, and I was so pleasantly surprised with the response. And
we had a little resistance at the beginning.
Oh yeah, we got a couple of resistors, but one of our kids, just like, we gave each one of them their own copy of the schedule. One of our kids was just like smiling.
She couldn't stop smiling.
She just was like, I love organization. And I don't know about you, but she's that part of us that we both, she has both our best qualities and our worst qualities all wrapped in one. But to see her like just beaming about a schedule and some organization, I was just like so proud.
Yeah, she was really excited, and I thought it was really cool because having school age children. So I built an at-home business with 2 toddlers and a grade schooler. And so I know how to work a business with children at home and working in pockets of time. It's crazy. It's busy. I did it for years. And then our kids all went to school. And so I thought, okay, well, now they're all home again. I built this business, I built a huge company with them at home, but it's a completely different season of life. Our children, I had to realize they went from packed schedules where they were at school all day long, learning. They got socialization. I mean, our kids really have, good friends at school. They are learning, they're getting stimulation, they're getting recess, and then they come and they have structure at very structured days. And then in the evenings, they have activities, they've got sports, they've got these packed schedules, and they all, they've also had a huge transition. And they went from, very set schedules, very full days, and now they had nothing. They're at home with us, with working parents, and I realized, there is, you did, Scott, they're like eating all the snacks, they're playing video games or on their devices watching TV, playing music. I mean, I kind of, for a little bit, felt like we were living like in a college dorm or a frat house or something. I'm like, and I'm like, this is so, like, we have got to provide some, sense of structure for them. And I would see on, social media, all these people that already, not everyone, but that's how, this is a thought. This is a prime example of a thought. I was like, dang, like these moms are posting they've already got like homeschooling figured out. They got their schedules figured out. And I'm over here just like, what it's, for lack of a better word, it's a crap show. And that's me using a nice word. But at our house, and I'm like, I gotta, do something. But I also have to, we sat down, we had a meeting together first, because we as relationship coaches knew we needed to be on a united front. And
practicing what we preach.
Yeah, practice what we preach. And we're like, we gotta, so we actually had to this is a high time for our business, and we actually had to take the day off yesterday. A lot of the day, we got the essentials done, took care of the fires,
minimums,
the things that we need. We put fires out, we took care of who needed support, and then we came together and we're like, all right, we have got to figure this out and set up a schedule or some sort of, structure for our children. And just by doing a schedule, of and then meeting with the children and being like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And just talking with them, and and then we figured out something that was everybody could agree on. It would also satisfy our introverts and extroverts of the house. And
we let them kind of one piece of advice I got a while ago was you don't give your kids a choice of what to do, but you can give them a choice of how to do it.
Yes.
So they got to be involved in we said, here's some structure, but there's lots of flexibility in here. You guys work it out, like who's going to do what chores? And we were just like, you guys figure it out. Here's the list of chores. You guys split it up. You know when you need to do those. And I just loved how they all stepped up in their own ways. They're all different individuals, but I think it worked really well. And if it works for our kids, if it works for our family, it'll work for anybody. So hopefully that's a tip that will help somebody out.
Yeah, and we have a child. We have a kid in elementary, a kid in middle school, and a high schooler. Yeah. So we've got all the seasons.
And you couldn't be more different.
They're all different. They're all so different. Our first two are polar opposites, and then the little one, they're all so different personalities, different makeups, different likes, different dislikes, and we were able to come to a place of agreement. We didn't host this like a dictatorship, even though I really wanted to, and that's what I wanted to be like.
You have a little dictator.
I do. I have a dictator personality. I have to like reel it in because I'm controlling. But that's something I've worked on. So we had to have this meeting, and I had to take a lot of deep breaths. And if you haven't heard my breathing technique, you can go to it was in the last episode or the episode prior to that. I went over it, but it's also on YouTube. And it's in the academy if you're part of the academy. But I had to use that, and we came up with a schedule, and then we also came up with a list of chores. And it was funny because our youngest was like, I'll pick up dog poop. And I'm like, really? Because I've been the one picking up dog poop for like 3 years, and now you're gonna...
It was interesting what they actually went for.
Yeah, one wanted to do dishes. I never knew she even had an interest in dishes.
Yeah.
It was really...
When you make it their idea, I guess but today, today's day 2, and they all just went right into it. It was pretty cool.
They did it. And I think the biggest thing too is you have to let go of the expectation of perfection.
Sure, yeah.
Because I have, as you have to know that it's not going to be perfect. Our daughter did do the dishwasher without putting the soap in it. Yeah. And then she's like, the dishes are still dirty. Our dishwasher's horrible. And I'm like, did you put soap in it? And she was like, huh? And so, we had...
And the youngest the middle was complaining about the youngest. She came into the office and said, I need a meeting, Dad. And she was complaining about one of the other employees that, was not dusting very well, because it's almost like the dusting that she's doing is making him more dusty. And I'm like, you know what? It's not about, like you said, it's not about perfection. It's about everybody contributing. And as long as that person isn't doing the dusting all the time, eventually the dusting will get done well. So let her do it the way she's doing it.
Yeah, and it also is dependent upon their intention. They all have positive intent.
Yes.
And
we did say that attitudes will be rewarded.
Yeah, so I would encourage you guys, if you were feeling like we were, and we know there's a lot of homeschool parents out there. My hat goes off to you. We've just never been those parents.
Yeah, we're not there.
We attempted it before, and it just wasn't something that
for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it just and we've also been blessed because we've been in our kids have been in great schools. And but things are changing now, where our school is converting to online on April 1, and so we were like, we got to get some structure in here so that when they do convert, they have that time set up, and we haven't lost complete control. So anyway, everyone thrives on structure. Morning routines for us is structured. Something else we teach is how to be more productive with time blocking. I know that's a huge thing you teach, and if you're part of the academy, you can get get access to that. So make sure you do that, especially now that you're home. And because you still got to get stuff done, especially if you're working from home. And then also, remember your kids thrive off of it too. And you got to allow for free time, of course, and creative time and things like that, which we cover in the academy. But if you haven't done anything, if you feel like things are out of control in your home right now with everything that's changed, just figure out a structure, figure out a schedule that works for everyone, and give everyone a little grace as you're figuring it out. It does definitely take a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have anything else to add before we wrap up?
No, I think that's good. I think next time we'll get into
truth versus lies, which is one of our favorite topics.
Mm-hmm.
We've been teaching this topic for, like 8, 9, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. So it's definitely an episode you won't want to miss. And we just want to thank you guys for joining us today.